Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Flood tragedy. 2 people die in Nash County when they're overtaken by rushing waters.
I thought that I could make a difference, so I ran and dove in, tried to grab her.
A police officer's heroic effort to try to save them.
And a lengthy repair. It could be months before roads torn apart by the flooding are back open. The damage left behind by the torrential rain that fell in our area. That rain still falling this morning. We have to get to weather right away.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, though. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us. Yeah, Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and coming in from Apex, Elizabeth. They got a lot of rain. Don't need more.
Exactly. Nobody needs more after what we saw yesterday, that's for sure. Not everybody saw a lot of heavy rain coming up. I'm going to take you through who saw the heaviest rain. Definitely the western part of Wake County saw a lot. Also, just really across the viewing area in different locations, Spring Hope, parts of Nash County. Right now, most of the rain is right through the middle of the viewing area from Rocky Mount to Wilson to Durham to Raleigh. It's pretty steady out there right now. As I came in, I had to run the windshield wipers pretty steadily. But take a look at Futurecast. Futurecast not too excited about rain that we'll see this morning. That's 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Kind of lifts it northward and dissipates it somewhat. So it is messy out there right now. It looks like we might see some improvement as we get through the morning commute, and then we start to move to just a more summer-like pattern with a chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. I'll talk about how much more rain is on the way through the weekend coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. We have breaking news we're following right now. A fallen tree has part of Crabtree Boulevard in Raleigh closed. Ali Kadlabar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, cleanup crews pulled up just within the last 10 minutes there.
Yes, and you can see those crews behind me. We have Raleigh Parks and Rec Department working to clear this tree. You have that crew going up in that bucket right there. We see that tree is tipped over and snapped onto the road. Raleigh police, they are closing Crabtree Boulevard between Raleigh Boulevard and Timber Drive. It's about a quarter-mile stretch. They're diverting traffic right now. Hopefully this will get fixed in the next 15 to 20 minutes and not impact your morning commute. But we're going to keep on track. We're going to keep on top of this morning. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
2 people are dead after getting swept away by floodwaters in Nash County. It happened yesterday in Spring Hope on Highway 581. According to deputies, 55-year-old Pete Evans and 24-year-old Lottie Alston were in a van when they were swept off the road into a ravine. The 2 spent their last moments clinging to their vehicle. Lieutenant Jason Leary said he did everything he could to save them.
She had an arm out of the water. I tried to grab her. And then when she submerged, I went under as well, trying to reach for her. But there was so much debris, so much fallen trees, bushes, things floating. There was a tree that was completely underwater, horizontal, that you couldn't see, that I got tied up in and got over it. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about anything, just trying to make a difference.
The Nash County Sheriff's Office says the 2 lives lost are a somber reminder of how powerful these floodwaters can be. Deputies say if you see water on the road and you cannot see the yellow line, turn around.
Apex is cleaning up after it was hit hard by rain and flooding. Many roads were filled with water during the storm. At least one may be closed for months. Monica Casey is in the WRAL Storm Tracker right now this morning. Monica, what kind of conditions are we seeing on the roads there this morning?
Good morning, Jeff. We are making our way over to Apex right now. I want you to take a look at the road that we are on. We're about to get on 440 here, and you can actually see by the traffic lights illuminating here on the road, we are seeing some ponding on the road this morning. I drove over from Durham to Raleigh, and I was seeing a lot of ponding on roads such as the Durham Freeway and a bit on 40 as well. Of course, it's also really dark right now, so it's tough to see that standing water on the roads. Now, I want to take you to some video from yesterday, startling video from Apex. We actually saw a sinkhole yesterday on Olive Chapel Road. The creek running underneath that road flooded, and then the street collapsed under the weight of the water there. Neighbors in that area tell us that is going to be a frustrating closure for them. Back out here live on 440, again, you can see that ponding on the roads, and I want to emphasize again, just just how difficult it really is to see what's going on the roads. There's also a lot of spray coming off other cars in front of you if you're on the roads this morning. So it's a good morning to give yourself some extra space between you and the car in front of you. For now, live in the Storm Tracker, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Tonight, family and friends of the 10-year-old who was killed in a boat crash on Harris Lake will gather to say goodbye. A visitation for Brooklyn Carroll will happen from 6 to 8 p.m. at Apex Funeral Home. Carroll died Saturday when a boat driven by a suspected drunk boater hit her. The community has shown an outpouring of support after her death. A GoFundMe has raised for her family $64,000. Brooklyn's funeral is planned for tomorrow.
And new court documents are giving a better idea of what officers found when they responded to that crash. A warrant says Quentin Kite admitted he was driving the boat at the time. An officer is quoted as saying, as I got near, Kite noticed he had red and glassy eyes. His speech was hard to understand, also smelled strong odor of alcohol. When asked, Kite said he had consumed 2 seltzer alcoholic beverages. I noticed there were lots of empty alcohol cans inside the boat. The documents show investigators seized 39 empty hard seltzer cans. Other evidence collected from the scene included a life jacket they believe that Brooklyn Carroll was wearing.
At least 10 people were on the boat that hit Brooklyn, as well as Jennifer Staley. That's just one piece of information we learned during the first court appearance for the owner of the boat, Anne Marie Flanagan. Her defense attorney said Flanagan is a former combat nurse who jumped in to help the victims after the crash. The Carroll family also shared new pictures with us, including one from last week when Brooklyn and her dad went on a hike together.
New this morning, President Donald Trump's new wave of tariffs on dozens of trading partners is now in place. Trump posted to social media at midnight saying billions of dollars in tariffs are now flowing into the United States of America. Before the midnight deadline, virtually every country's goods were subject to a minimum 10% tariff. Now those tariffs vary substantially from country to country. The new policy follows months of trade negotiations. Trump and his advisors say tariffs have raised more than $100 billion in tax revenue. Some economists fear they could lead to higher inflation and slower job growth.
United Airlines flights are in the air again after a major ground stop at airports across the country. Hundreds of United flights were held up last night at hubs including San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Houston. United says a technology issue was to blame. It's still unclear exactly what that issue was and what caused it.
An Army sergeant is in custody after a shooting at Fort Stewart military base in Georgia. Base officials say Cornelius Radford used his personal handgun to shoot 5 fellow soldiers. None were killed, or other soldiers managed to take Radford down and subdue him. 3 of the soldiers who were shot underwent surgery for their injuries. All 5 are expected to make full recoveries. The motive behind the shooting remains unknown.
Today we'll hear from the North Carolina Courage's chief soccer officer as the team now looks for a new coach. The team announced last night that it fired Sean Nahas from the job, and the move is effective immediately. Nahas had been with the team and the head coach since 2021. The team did not give a reason for his firing. Their next game is tomorrow night in Houston. The chief soccer officer will speak with the media at 11 o'clock this morning.
An invisible threat.
A guy in Mans Harbor, he got it behind his eyes, and he was about going blind over it.
Flesh-eating bacteria in the water is putting coastal fishermen at risk. The increased danger that's coming as hurricane season heats up.
Airplane bathroom recordings, the contents of a flight attendant's iCloud account revealed as part of a new lawsuit.
And there is more rain moving through this morning. We are taking a live look over Cary. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is back after the break with a look at the drier weekend that's ahead.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It's 4:42, and yes, we still have rain falling. It's patchy out there, but where it's falling, it is falling fairly steadily, and it's a pretty messy start out there this morning. Our temperatures are starting to warm up a little bit. We're at right around 70 yesterday. It was cooler than that. We do keep rain in our forecast today. A 30% chance this morning, about 40% chance later on this afternoon. We're not likely to see that heavy sort of rain that we saw yesterday, but it's still a little messy, especially out there this morning. So we do have the top of the tower lit in green, I should say, for the rain. And we take a live look here at Chapel Hill, and that rain is coming down fairly lightly but steadily, and it's wet and messy out there for sure this morning. Temperatures mid-60s to around 70, 66 in Durham and Holly Springs, 66 in Garner and Cary, 69 degrees right now in Goldsboro. In your planner today, temperatures stay on the cool side. We're still not going to even make it to 80 degrees with clouds and a few showers. Highs will be in the upper 70s. Coming up, we're going to see a recap of how much rain we ended up seeing yesterday, talk about how much more we'll see into the weekend.
A man on the Outer Banks is in the hospital because of a flesh-eating bacteria. It's known as Vibrio. We are seeing more cases this year, especially on the Carolina coast. When you go to the beach, it is up to you whether or not you get in the water. But for people who work in the water, they don't have much of a choice. They told WRAL climate reporter Liz McLaughlin they've seen this bacteria before.
The water in this sound is the perfect blend of salt and fresh water for bacteria to thrive. Vibrio can also reproduce faster in hot water, so that raises risk, especially for people on the water day in and day out.
Between fishing charters, John Silver has been visiting his friend and mentor in the hospital, hoping he can fight off the infection.
I try to check in on him most days, and so I'm just hoping that he'll pull through. I mean, it's a lot of prayers are being said for him.
Watermen here know the danger after recent deaths in Dare County and several close calls.
A guy in Mans Harbor, he got it behind his eyes, and he was about went blind over it. Another fisherman, he got a crab point stuck in his hand, and then it ate up his whole arm. They about had to amputate his arm over it.
Silver says hot, shallow coves put crews on high alert.
Like last week, the water in the sound was up to 93 degrees. It was just hot. I mean, like, that's almost like jacuzzi water.
Handling sharp shells and claws all day adds to the risk.
You know, I mean, we're constantly getting cut and nicked.
Rising temperatures and extreme rainfall in the height of hurricane season could be a perfect storm for more cases on the horizon.
We've had a lot of incidents, certainly in Europe and in the USA, where we've had big storms, hurricanes, and then a lot of infections tend to follow.
Vibrio isn't new, but the naturally occurring bacteria can overpopulate in conditions made more common by climate change. In Nags Head, I'm Liz McLaughlin, WRAL News.
New this morning, the family of a North Carolina girl who was secretly photographed while in an airplane bathroom is suing American Airlines. Flight attendant Estes Thompson pleaded guilty to hiding a camera in the bathroom and taking pictures of passengers. That includes the 11-year-old girl who was flying home to Charlotte in 2023. Paul Llewellyn represents the girl and her family. He says Americans should be held responsible.
It's just sickening. The most vulnerable position, like there's enough to worry about as a parent. It's the last thing you think when your child uses an airplane bathroom. And this happened on their watch. Child abuse happened on their watch.
According to the lawsuit, the FBI found Thompson's iCloud account contained at least 4 instances when he recorded a minor using the bathroom on board.
Hundreds of military kids in Fayetteville are getting school supplies for free. It's part of the nonprofit Operation Homefront's Back to School Brigade. This is video and photos from a previous event. This year, 500 backpacks filled with school supplies will be given away to military families. Families have already been chosen to participate. Wake County is asking for your input on its historic preservation standards. It is hosting a public meeting next Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30 at Panther Branch Rosenwald School. The goal is to make it easier for homeowners to make repairs or improvements to historic properties. It'll also include new guidance on how to protect historic homes during natural disasters.
Water rose at some of Wake County's traditional trouble spots for flooding during yesterday's storm. This is video of Crabtree Creek. It was taken near Crabtree Valley Mall on the Greenway near Glenwood Avenue and Blue Ridge Road. You can see how close the water was to overflowing from the banks. And a WRAL viewer sent this video of flash flooding at Prestonwood Golf Course in Cary. The course seems to be completely covered in water. The country club posted on Facebook saying all golf courses and practice facilities were closed because of the flooding there. No word yet on whether they will reopen today.
I would bet against it.
Yeah, no.
Elizabeth Gardner over at the WRAL Severe Weather Center and heard from people from Cary yesterday, from Apex yesterday, talking about all that rain they'd never seen. Lived there for 15 years, never saw enough rain.
You know, it was interesting because in Wake County, it was really concentrated in a pocket over there around Cary and Apex, Morrisville. That's where we ended up seeing as much as 5 to 6 inches of rain. And then we had another pocket, of course, in Nash County, where we had as much as 7 inches of rain. Typically, we'll see that when we have thunderstorms, and this was not necessarily a thunderstorm sort of scenario yesterday, but boy, we had those pockets where that rain was really, really heavy. Right now, we're looking at scattered rain across our area. Notice it doesn't look that impressive here on the radar, but driving in this morning, it was messy out there, so do be careful. We're watching to see if we're going to issue a weather alert day for today. The coverage of the rain isn't huge, but it does cover the Triangle area where a lot of people will be headed out to work and school. Models show this dissipating pretty quickly and maybe starting to taper off as we get into the bulk of the morning commute. But you know, keep an eye out. If it does continue, we will likely issue a weather alert day. Look at this, 5.5 inches here in western Wake County, again around Cary, Apex, Morrisville, Raleigh proper about 1.5 inches. So big differences there. And Durham about 2.5 inches. And then we had a stretch along the I-85 corridor where it was 2 to 3 inches. And then look at that, 7.5 inches there west of Rocky Mount, there around Spring Hope. We head down to the south and some heavy rainfall totals there just south of Clinton, over 5 inches of rain. And in southeastern Wayne County, it was 4.5. So just a lot of rain out there. Take a look at Futurecast. Futurecast is not showing a whole lot of rain for us between 7 and 10 o'clock. So we'll see if that happens. The models did not do a good job of helping us anticipate what happened yesterday, though. So we'll see how it goes. Does look like that as we get through the afternoon, our chances for rain will diminish, but we do have that low risk for flooding for it today. So we'll continue to watch that. It's messy out there right now. This is a look at downtown Raleigh. That's the legislative building. Our temperatures are on the mild side, mid 60s to around 70, and we'll keep it cool today at 78. But the weather pattern changes dramatically once we get past the weekend. We're back into some very hot conditions for early next week. We'll talk about the change in the weather pattern coming up.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Career on hold. Kelly Clarkson postponing her upcoming concerts. Why she says she needs to stay off the stage and at home instead.
And in the next hour, back to school savings. Five on your side takes a look at the best ways to stay on budget as you get your child ready to return to the classroom. Celebrities are coming together to stand up to cancer, and Epic Games has a new season of Fortnite. David Daniel has today's Hollywood Minute.
Hey there, this is Dolly, coming to you straight from Nashville.
Stand Up to Cancer is headed to Music City. Reese Witherspoon and Tim McGraw are among the celebs taking part in this year's fundraiser, hosted by Sheryl Crow. The special airs Friday, August 15th on more than 30 broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms.
He said, I have to tell you something about me. I'm not going to last that long.
It's Never Over. Jeff Buckley looks at the rising music star who released his critically acclaimed debut album, Grace, then drowned at the age of 30. The documentary, featuring never-before-seen footage from Buckley's archives and interviews with those who knew him best, opens in theaters Friday.
We thought it was the end of times. Turns out, it's morphin' time.
The mighty Morphin Power Rangers have arrived in Fortnite, and they're not alone. The new season of the wildly popular Battle Royale, titled Shock and Awesome, includes the colorful heroes fighting alongside Spartan soldiers from the Halo universe. Fortnite's new season is underway today. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Cleanup along the Blue Ridge Parkway keeps rolling along. 4 more miles of the popular highway are now back open for the first time since Helene. Huge chunks of the highway are still closed in our state after more than 10 months after the storm hit. Park rangers hope to open a few more stretches in the coming weeks.
Durham Bulls are congratulating an umpire who is about to make Major League history. Jen Powell is about to become the first woman to umpire a regular season game in the big leagues. The Durham Bulls posted photos of her from games she umpired at the DBAP in 2023 and 24. The Bulls wished her the best as she steps onto the field. Powell is on the schedule for an Atlanta Braves game this weekend.
Pretty cool. And the North Carolina DOT showing a sense of humor as after our story about an NC State basketball coach's social media post detailing a long wait at the DMV. The DOT thanked Brandon Chambers for bringing donuts as a morale boost. It said, "We got a new coaching staff too early this year. We hope to have things turned around and headed in the right direction by tournament time." Chambers was at the DMV for 8.5 hours on Tuesday.
Kelly Clarkson is postponing her remaining Las Vegas shows because of a family emergency. She says her ex-husband has fallen ill. She is pausing her series of shows so she can be home with her 2 children. The no due dates for the shows have been announced.
Tree down, road closed. This is a live look right now. A Raleigh street shut down as you look live at Crabtree Boulevard. The WRAL breaking news tracker is on scene as crews work to clear the mess this morning.
Well, it's a heartbreaking moment. 2 lives are lost during yesterday's flash flooding in Nash County. One deputy's emotional attempt to save them.
And back to school hacks. School supply lists are longer than ever. We'll share shortcuts to the best deals.